I am editing the video now, and two things I want to say is one, the frame rate you're seeing in the bottom right with MSI Afterburner, that's half the frame rate. So double whatever you're seeing. That's what lossless scaling is actually giving me. I couldn't get the counter to show. I talk about it in the video. One and two, I've already tried to record this video a couple days ago, and I ended up hating it because it was so long and I'm just yapping. But there was a good part where I had a really nice fart in there, and I took my headset off, um, and I farted into the mic. So I'm going to put that in first just to kind of get the ball rolling, and then we're going to talk about lossless scaling. So enjoy.
But I'm thoroughly surprised with this setup. Hold on. Let me turn my head tracking off. I have to fart. I want to see if I can get it in my mic. Hold on. Okay, I hope that came through. And it's funny because I'm using a Telex, so the mic you just heard me fart into is the mic that's pressed against my lips right now. But I'm a grown man, dude. I'm the opposite of a germaphobe. And it's my butthole. I don't care. Alright. We are departing out of DFW. And I wanted to talk to you guys about lossless scaling. I tried filming this video not too long ago, a couple days ago, but it ended up just being a yap session. So, and for you older folks, that means I was talking too much. So I'm going to try to keep it concise, but for a long time now, I've been doing the frame gen mod with my NVIDIA card, which is fine. It's got its, its quirks, but it did all right. But it just, I had it in 1440 doing the frame gen mod, and it was nice and everything, but recently I've gone back to lossless scaling, which I tried back when I had an AMD card, and I hated it. It was put this disgusting film over everything on my TV. Like, it just looked so grotesque. It took all the sharpness away, and it just had all these terrible artifacts, and it was just horrendous. And while it still does have some artifacts, it is so much better than the last time I tried it, maybe 4 months ago, that it's hard to believe. And right now, I noticed when I did the first video, I don't even know if it's picking up the frame gen with my OBS recording. So I was watching it back and I was like, it doesn't look nearly as good. So I've got some screenshots I took, and I'll show you kind of my settings now and kind of talk about what I did different. So now, and with my 3060 Ti and my Ryzen 5 5600, I'm at 4K with the NVIDIA DLSS on balanced. I'm sure AMD has a equivalent. I've got these settings here. I'm back to DX11, which DX12 was required for the FrameGen mod, but I'm happy to be back to DX11. It's just so much more consistent. TLOD 100. Here's kind of my settings here. I'll scroll through them so you can see. And I think a key part of this that I never tried when I first had lossless scaling was taking my texture resolution down to medium, really giving my GPU some overhead to work with, and then on top of that, upping the resolution, and then, adding the lossless on top of that. So, like I said, I'm going to show some screenshots of, like, what I've taken, because it can capture that perfectly. But as far as recording the video goes, it doesn't capture the smoothness, and it doesn't capture how, oh, hello, it doesn't capture how pretty everything really is. But dude, if the lossless scaling is $7, I believe. It's on Steam, and man, is it worth $7? Really, really is. And I'm playing in 4K right now with a graphics card that I got for $200 on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm playing in 4K with a consistent, frame rate that I'm very happy with. Right now, if you can see down here, this is wrong. So the frame rate's actually doubled whatever this reads. And for some reason I can't get the, you know how lossless scaling has their frame count in the top left. It's shown on my screen, but it's not shown in the recording. So I don't know if you can see it, but man, just the lights. And again, I don't know a good way to record it. So it sucks because this is so beautiful, but for my videos, I might have to go a different route to make it look good. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still tinkering with it, and who knows, this may look nice in the recording afterwards, but it's day 2 of trying this setup out, and I woke up this morning, you know, itching to get back in the sim to make sure it wasn't a fluke. You know when you wake up after having a great dream, you're like, oh, that was a dream. That's what it felt like, for real. But, you know, so yeah, man, I am very happy with the performance of the lossless scaling. Go try it out. There's nothing I can really tell you other than, you know, short of you just having to try it. But man, it's so crazy to be playing this game in 4K in a, you know, and I'm in DFW with mods added in and light mods and all this stuff for Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's heavy on my system, and it's running at, like I said, this is doubled. So I'm looking at 52, 53, 55, 56. That is like a real-time reading of what it's showing. But normally, when I'm not recording, I'm solid 60 the whole time, dude. I'll be in an airliner. I'll be in the most difficult to run airliners I can find. The PMDG, the Embraer E-Jets. Those are tough on the system, and it's solid 60. It dips into 55, 53 on approach. But dude, with the FrameGen mod, I'm literally like, there's so many times I do a, you know, a 2-hour flight just to get there and be at 17, 18 frames a second on approach. And that drives me bonkers, dude. As I'm sure you've all experienced, what a terrible feeling that is. What an absolutely terrible feeling that is. Sorry, I had to move the mic away from my mouth to yell, because that makes me irate. I just spent so much time in the sim, setting everything up, flying, doing everything. Everything's fine. Oh, it's approach. How about 14 frames a second? Nerd. Get bent, is basically what the sim was saying to me. Anyway, I'll go bonkers and bananas on that all night if somebody doesn't stop me. So I'm going to stop me and tell you to try lossless scaling, man. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that did what I did, tried it, went gross, and then never opened the app again. And yeah, I remember watching Island Sim Pilot's videos on it, you know, somewhat fairly recently, and he was ranting and raving about lossless scaling. I was like, I don't get it, dude. But it doesn't work with the X12, as far as I can tell. It just brings you to like 2 frames a second. So you're gonna have to be in DX11. But man, it's so worth it. Again, I'm running 4K on my setup, which is something I never thought I'd be able to do. And it's truly outrageous. I'm gonna make it daytime, or a little lighter out, and I'll get a nice live screenshot here, so you can see that I'm not, you know, fibbing. Let me find something that looks good. Nice little morning. But everything is so clear and so crisp, and you can see all these weird shapes. That's the mod I downloaded for DFW. I really don't like TO mods. At night they look great, but daytime they're terrible. But anyway, everything's so sharp. I hope that's coming across in the video, but I have a feeling it's not. So basically the point of this is saying, go try it. Give yourself some texture resolution, bring that down to about a medium. Give yourself some GPU overhead. And I found that I had to do the same with the FrameGen mod, but it ate up so much more GPU than Lossless does. And I guess because Lossless basically looks at what's on your screen and then, you know, generates more frames based on that in that exact moment. Whereas the FrameGen mod, I guess, is something different. I'm not too technical. Or we're basically going to dive bomb this sucker, throw her into a side slip. we'll get a landing here. Coming into DFW. Granted, I'm only in the 152, but you'll see the frames do not kill you. We're gonna land on the taxiway here because we're punk rockers. Something's beeping at me. I've never seen that beep at me. But dude, I am so blown away with this lossless scaling. It is spectacular. And again, I can't stress it enough. The video is not going to show how crisp everything is, how well it, you know, is how smooth it is, because it just doesn't show the frames very well as far as I can remember with the first video. But let's do our taxiway landing. That was alright. I call that landing, I've got a number for you to call, and a pair of cold cuffs to go on your wrist when you park the plane. So that's why we don't park the plane and we get right out of here. Plowing through lights on the way out, baby. You know what I mean? Because you know why? Because we're freaking punk rockers. Blah. Just kidding. But yeah, man, try this out. The setup's fantastic, and I'm gonna be rocking with it for a while.